At that time, my mother was still alive, and I used to, every Sunday, I would give everybody, including Laya, my nieces, nephews, my siblings, I would give them the test. And of course, my whole family failed. I come from, I would say, a fairly intelligent family, and every time I would ask the question, their answer was, hey, but that's a stupid question. That's not logical. I said, answer the question. I'm the teacher. Of course, nobody could answer it correctly because they would argue with the question. Stupid yung question. Paano magiging tama yung sagot? Halimbawa, okay, example ng stupid question. The lesson is about, actually, weird nga eh. The lesson was something about, ewan ko kung environment or pangangalaga ng kapaligiran or something. Then ang tanong, alin sa mga sumusunod, mga hayop, ang iyong aalagaan? A, baboy. B, baka. C, pusa. D, aso. What? I mean, hello? Of course, the correct answer is baka, but don't ask me why. I don't know. If you're a Hindu, okay. Because in Hinduism, the cow is sacred. Oh, so, you know. I don't know. I never understood the answer. And I have to confess that kahit ako mismo ang kumuha noon, bagsak din ako. Nag-PhD pa ako, pero bagsak ako sa elementarya. Those were the kinds of questions. The other questions were more questions as basic as the inability of the textbook to distinguish between fact and opinion, or fact and interpretation. Basic. Fact is something that happened. Interpretation is your reading of what happened. Umiiyak siya. Fact. Umiiyak siya dahil kabe-break lang nila. Well, that's what you think. Maybe she was crying tears of joy at breaking up, not tears of sadness. I finally got rid of this creature. Hindi ba? Matter of interpretation, the tears. But the fact, tears were flowing. Okay, umiyak. How you interpret it? There is a difference. Yung, imagine yung sa, di ba sa Mactan, nung Cebu was the first city founded during the Spanish period. So, nagtayo ng cross. Ang sign daw ng cross, yung palatandaan, yung cross, no, ay simbolo ng merong 4 choices. Pagkakaibigan ng Espanya at Pilipinas, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Of course, that's the correct answer. Pagkakaibigan, according to the teacher's manual. But I said, pero hindi ba pinatay ni Lapu-Lapu si Magellan? So, pagkakaibigan yan? It's a matter of how these are interpreted. But that's what kids are taught. In the grade 6 textbook on Philippine history, there is no mention of the word revolution. So, ano pa yung kilusan natin against Spain? Party? I don't know. In other words, of course, historians use a lot of concepts, and many of the concepts we use were not invented by us. Concepts like class, revolution, you know, these are culture. These are concepts that social scientists as a whole, in general, apply. But when historians use them, we have to provide evidence. Kaya history is basically an evidence-based subject. Yung mga gustong kumuha ng law, laging pinipili ang policy as the first degree. Kalokohan. If you're taught history well, the best training is history. Because history teaches you how to research and how to evaluate evidence. History is all about evaluating claims that historians make. Can you imagine? There's this, I read an article by this teacher of grade junior high, basta in the US. Very progressive. Americano. Teaching in an American school. You know how he taught the Philippine-American War? Kasi hindi naman yan tinuturo sa textbook ng US eh. Okay. Pinoseso niya, meron siyang pinakitang film, ganyan-ganyan, meron pa siyang debate, pinabasa niya different positions, tapos one group in the class was McKinley, the other group was Aguinaldo, the other group was the head of a trade union na Amerikano, mga ganon-ganon. His last lesson, pinabasa niya excerpt ng American textbook tungkol sa Philippine-American War and excerpt ng Philippine textbook. So, tinanong niya, ano yung similarities at ano yung pagkakaiba? Okay, yung similarities, sabi nila, okay, both indicate many people died in the war, both indicate this was ganito, ganito, okay. What were the differences? Sabi nung isang bata, teacher, you know, in our textbook, in their textbook, they call Aguinaldo president of the Republic. But in our textbook, we call him insurgent leader. Kala mo, term lang yon? These are interpretations. Why would we call Aguinaldo the president? Because we believed we were a sovereign republic. Kahit na nanghihimasok ng Estados Unidos, we declared a republic. We had a constitution. Malolos constitution. Sa kanila, insurgent. Because they never wanted to use the term war. Because when you say war, the implication is these are two equally sovereign states battling each other. When you say insurgent, you're talking about I am the superior controlling force and you are an inferior force within that is trying to overturn me. But you are not equal sovereign states. So it was really a lesson in what we call in history, historiography. Historiography is the analysis of perspectives, of how history is written. So given the same event, history can be written many times in different ways. Every time September 21, you will expect this again on Friday. Kung sino man yon, mababasa nyo yung isang miyembro ng pamilyang Marcos, martial law was the best time in the Philippines. Yeah, okay. There were no human rights violations. Mga ilan lang meron. Sabi ni yung senator ninyo ngayon, yung isang anak na senator, I quote, meron siyang sinabi the other year, merong mga ilang violation. Halimbawa, isang lasing na sundalo, lasing siya, so sinampal-sampal niya yung isang mamamayan. Yung ganun lang ang mga violation. I mean, come on. Who are you kidding? If you listen to the wife of Marcos, she says this was the time when it was the most prosperous, the most peaceful time in our history when we gave the Philippines democracy. I don't know where they live, in Mars, Jupiter, and a new star in the universe. But these are all interpretations. Okay? So, what is important in history as a learning tool is to be able to analyze evidence and evaluate the conclusions or claims made on that basis. In this sense, history is very scientific in that sense. Because science is that way. You draw conclusions, only they do experiments. Kasi alam mo naman sa science, they experiment and they can repeat. Sa atin, nangyari na. My father, my late father, who was a lawyer, used to tell me that history and law are the same, except that in my case, my witnesses are all dead. Yeah. In his case, his witnesses were alive, so he could cross-examine them. I said, Daya, no? Yeah. In my case, they're patay. So I only have to read and interpret, what they said. But how do I know that I'm interpreting it, quote, correctly? That is the method of history. Because we accept that there can be conflicting interpretations. That's what makes the discipline interesting. There is no one line that will tell you, ganito kang mag-i-interpret, ganito kang mag-iisip. Ay, debate talaga tayo. Pakitaan ng ebidensya.